We're back, everybody, for some more practice drills on chess.com. Let's go ahead and open up our key position finder and choose a random but very challenging ending against our toughest computer, level 10, which, like we said off the record, we don't try to promote which engine we use over others. We like all the engines, but it's about a 3,000 rated Stockfish engine. Just FYI. All right, let's do another conversion. Let's do a holding down of the extra piece. Bring up our computer analysis, read the intro. How can black properly keep white's extra material in check in this endgame? Wait a second. This is supposed to be, I think this is not a good one, because this is supposed to be for black, actually. That's a mistake in entering it, because here black is threatening rook h1 mate, so the only move for me really is to head back with the queen, the king, and I think the computer will probably just take the draw. Yeah, because it's the best option. So this is a little bit of a confusing one, not necessarily the best position choice. I'm gonna have to mark down that one as one to go back to and either edit or remove from our database. So my apologies for that. Let's look for this one. What's this one? Defend and then attack. Okay. First, some very critical decisions must be made by white, but if you choose wisely, you may find white's own attacking chances are just as dangerous against black's uncastled king. Okay. Against the computer coach, this seems insane. All right, well, the critical decision we are immediately facing is that either we take back the bishop or we run with the king and see if there's some other form of compensation. But looking at the position means, or to me it means that this wouldn't be a position if the move was like king f1 or king to d1 here, right? I mean, black already has the bishop pair. Doesn't seem to be any reason why he can't just move the bishop to safety if we move the king. And unless we have some way, oh, I guess we do have, because one point is that if you move the king, if the bishop moves, you have bishop b5 check immediately, which is going to take away black's right to castle. Either the king will have to move to a dark square or trade the bishop, and either way, white's going to get some compensation long term, right? But on that note, now that we're considering that, it makes me even more confident that I should probably play king f1, let them take the rook on a1 with check, put the king on g2 with a tempo, and once the queen moves to safety, which is likely to c3, there are several moves there, right? Including bishop b5 check with similar intentions of keeping the king in the center, queen to e4 if we decide that it's worth it to go after the rook. I think bishop b5 check will be the move there. So if we're calculating from start to finish, I'm considering b takes c3, queen takes c3, king f1, queen takes a1 check, king to g2, queen c3, bishop b5 check. We'll see what the computer chooses as far as defending the position with either king f8, king e7, or blocking with the bishop. But I think the key there is that white definitely has a pretty strong initiative if I can continue to find accurate moves. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take here, and we will see how the position develops. Has to be king f1 now, right? That pretty much should be the only move. Oh, was there something better? It feels like this must be the only move, to run the king away and then look for the attack with bishop b5 check. But the computer already believes that it's just better than winning here. Wow, was there a right concept but full misassessment here? Could I have played queen to d2? But if queen takes a1, king e2 takes h1. Oh, I have bishop b5 check. And then after king to e7, queen to b4 check. So if we force the computer to, can we force the computer to play a bad move? I guess it won't. So that's the idea I missed, everybody. Relocating the queen to the dark squares was the key to the position. If queen takes a1, king e2, queen takes h1, you have bishop b5 check, king f8 or king e7, queen to b4 check. If the king's on e7, it's like just mate. If the king's on f8, it runs to g8, and then you're immediately entering with the queen. So we need to improve some of these positions, because now the issue is that really, if the computer's going to play this way, the game quickly goes from this really dynamic, kind of cool, you get an attack as compensation for a sacrifice of two rooks, to a position where I basically I just have to convert this position now. I just have to convert the position being up a piece, which I'm going to try to do anyway, because when you're playing a 3000 rated Stockfish computer, converting on a piece ending where he already has 2 pawns for it is not always the easiest thing in the world. You know, definitely takes a lot of accuracy. So we'll do that. We'll try to convert this endgame as best we can. Now the question is, am I worried about anything? I guess I'm going to play King E2. I have to be careful at some point about him taking on D3 and then playing Bishop A6. Okay, that's an interesting check. I guess he's saying if Rook E3, he's going to take here. So I won't do it. Notice how we always refer to the engine as a he, right? Is that because we just assume that men are just meaner than women? Is that a he-she thing? Because every time I'm referring to he, I'm like, I don't like the engine. I don't know what that is. I'm not trying to get into the battle of sexes debate. I just noticed that I refer to it as he. It's also, I think, just like a part of the culture. It's like, refer to it, I guess, as the first pronoun that you're used to, which I guess for most guys is that. Although I'm definitely all about finding a way to, to fight for more equal rights and that stuff, so that it's not just a commonplace that it's always a he. Okay, enough of that. This is difficult, actually. I need to be accurate. I'm going to do it. I'm going to convert an extra piece endgame against this insanely strong computer. So now I'm going to defend the G pawn so that my rook is free. There is nothing better for your chess than playing a computer. I mean, seriously. It's so difficult to play a computer and to challenge yourself to calculate accurately, to have solid plans, because they're so unforgiving. They're so unforgiving, and it really improves your technique more than it ever would playing a human to try to convert an advantage against a computer. Enough said. So the weaknesses here are on F7. Rook C4 would be considered if not for Rook A2, because I think on Rook F4 I don't have enough. I'd also like to improve my knight, right? Like knight to C4. If I could head into E5, that would be a goal. So I'm going to play the move Rook to E3 with intentions to do that kind of stuff, to play knight C4 with tempo and then bring the knight into E5. And he wants to offer a trade because it weakens the C2 pawn. If knight C4, Rook C5, knight A3, Rook A5, that doesn't really help my cause, does it? No. So let's see. So I'm going to say no. Or am I? He's going to play Rook A4 if I do that. So I have to go for a simplification that I wasn't first thrilled about. I guess I will. Rook takes C8 and then bishop to C4, of course, is what I'm referring to. I didn't want to have to relocate just to guard the A2 pawn, but I didn't really see a better way to keep the pressure. To make this position go a little more smoothly, I really need to improve my knight on D2. That is the extra piece I have, and if you're not going to improve the extra material you have, then what is it all about, Alfie? All right? So now let's call his bluff. Does he want to trade and eliminate my threats of improving my knight? But in the process, obviously, I get more pieces off the board, which of course should help me. We'll see. He's backing up, but I'm going to come up, and I'm pretty happy with that minor improvement of the position. I feel like we should just call this whole thing Man versus Machine again, right? Because I already have the Man versus Machine show on Chess TV every week or every other week, but this is like Man versus Machine again. Ooh, is that a mistake? He has Rook E5 check. Ooh. I don't really want to have to commit my king to G3. If king F4, rook check, I have to go king G3. If king D2, rook E4, I guess I can just go back. But then he plays rook F4. Irritating, yeah? I guess I have to go for this. Not my favorite solution to my previous blunder of knight to d4. And I'm not even looking at what the computer is assessing. I'm still up a piece, so that's what I'm kind of happy about. Or am I? It's amazing how difficult the computer makes this. You gotta be kidding me. Just unreal. I know that's an ugly move. I'm not in denial of such facts. Look at his plan. If I move the knight, he plans to play a4 and start completely dislodging my defensive setup. What a... Oh, I didn't even see rook g2 as a threat. That's over. Wow, where did I go wrong? I guess knight d4 already was an idea, but then I had to go back. So what should I be looking to do? Just solidify things? No, but then now he has bishop a6. This is so tough. This is very tough. I'm lacking a solid plan. And the truth is I'm only up a pawn, right, in terms of points. I guess knight to d2 makes sense as a plan. Try to head into e4. If rook e5 check, I can play king d4, and e4 is guarded. If knight d2, b5, knight e4, rook e5, f3. Right, if knight d2, bishop a6 is kind of irritating. But maybe I can play knight e4 there. Takes and takes, right? And if rook e5, I can move the rook. All right, I'm going to go for this plan. Last chance to get this right before I concede defeat to the computer. Interesting. Interesting. I guess at least now I can bring the king to f4 without, like, rook f5 winning on the spot, right? And now what I really want to do is close this diagonal. And try to go back to bringing my knight in to e4. I guess I just didn't anticipate this whole rook transfer to e4 to begin with when I made that initial blunder, right? Knight to d4. Which apparently maybe wasn't even a blunder, but didn't seem right to me. Interesting. The engine is going after my pawns. That's what the engine is doing. Seems to me that there should be some way to to make my counterplay be good enough to battle those pawns. Someone's calling me, in case you missed it. All right, let's go after the B pawn here. Wow, tough stuff. Playing it like I'm playing a human blitz player, right? Which is always just, it's always risky. Playing practical moves. It's not just risky, it's a bad idea usually, right? Wow, we're going all in, huh? My passed pawn versus his passed pawns. I guess that's what we got to do. Computer probably thinks I should have just taken the perpetual. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow. If bishop f1, rook f4 check. If rook a3, h2, rook over, rook takes. I guess that's what I have to go for. Oh, I guess rook b5 also worked, huh? Busted. My best case scenario is to give up the bishop for the pawn, either right away by taking or playing bishop e2, h2, bishop f3, rook c1, king up, queen. Well, this is really, really embarrassing. Seriously, if I ever wanted to become a good chess player again, this would be such a good challenge of focus to really like buckle down. I feel like I lose these positions in not buckling down in like the critical plans, and you got to treat it like you're playing a grandmaster and not just a computer. It's really difficult to demand the most out of your own focus when you're not sitting across from someone, right? There's something about the over-the-board environment, the emotional energy that's exchanged at the board. You know, you have to focus, and also just there's more at stake, right? So I always tell my students you should treat your practice like it's supposed to be perfect if you want practice to make perfect, right? If you develop bad habits in your practice, don't be surprised when you don't have great calculation habits in a tournament. But at the same time, I say those words and I experience how difficult that is. I mean, to sit down and play a computer who means nothing to you, it's literally an artificially intelligent interface, and there's nothing on the line. It's really difficult to put yourself in like full over-the-board thinking mode. And converting these small advantages against a computer like that without that kind of full focus is difficult, as I've proven from time to time and when embarrassing myself in these videos. So hopefully my struggles is amounting to something good for someone. But yeah, this is tough. I don't even know what to do. Probably this is my best move. I don't know. I guess bishop e2, but bishop e2 is the same thing as far as my own struggles, and I'm just lost here. So I am going to resign, but again, there's no way to resign in the computer workout. I'm down 2 pawns, and the main disadvantage here is that he'll have he's going to end up with 2 passed pawns. that are connected against my solo adventure, right? My one cheese adventure on the queen side of the board. So okay. I haven't made it worse with the last few moves, but I'm still just down a couple points. And here comes f5, I assume, because why not? I guess king to g6. I mean, they can move the king or just play f5. Both are worthy of advantage conversions. I will take it, and now we just know I'm losing. The 2 pawns are a significant advantage over the single pawn, so I will salute and sign off. Challenge all of you to go to chess.com and try our drills. Try playing against the computer coach for yourself before you judge, right? Before you accuse me, take a look at yourself, Layla. Thank you, Eric Clapton. Thank you.